Friends, in last few lectures of material testing and evaluation, we have discussed about various materials used for construction work like cement, sand, brick, aggregates, concrete. Now, in this lecture, we are going to discuss about the non-destructive testing for concrete for checking its quality. Myself, R.V. Zugdar, Assistant Professor in Civil Engineering Department, Sharon Institute of Technology, College of Engineering. First of all, we will see what is non-destructive testing. As name itself suggests, the test carried out without any destruction or dismantling of sample is called as non-destructive testing. It is a method of testing existing concrete structures to assess the strength and durability of concrete structures. In non-destructive testing, without loading the specification to failure, we can measure strength of concrete. Nowadays, this method has become a part of quality control process. This method helps us to investigate crack depth, micro cracks, and deterioration of concrete structure. It requires skilled and experienced person since the equipment for non-destructive testing are costly and delicate. This photograph shows the non-destructive testing by a rebound hammer. Purposes for non-destructive tests. The non-destructive tests are feasible for checking quality because of following reasons. For estimating the in situ compressive strength, uniformity, quality, and homogeneity of structure, identifying areas of lower integrity, detection of presence of imperfections in structure, monitoring changes in the structure of the concrete, condition of reinforcement steel with respect to corrosion, chloride, sulfate, alkali contents, or degree of carbonation is studied by non-destructive testing. Measurement of elastic modulus can be done by using non-destructive tests. Condition of grouting in pre-stressing cable ducts is determined by using non-destructive testing. There are different methods of non-destructive testing such as penetration method, rebound hammer method, pull-out test method, ultrasonic pulse velocity method, and radioactive method. Penetration test on concrete. The Windsor probe is generally considered to be the best means of testing penetration. Equipment consists of powder actuated gun or driver, hardened alloy probes, loaded cartridges, a depth gauge for measuring penetration of probes, and other related equipments. A probe having diameter of 0.25 inch or 6.5 mm and length of 3.125 inches or 8 centimeter is driven into the concrete by means of a precision powder charge. Depth of penetration provides an indication of compressive strength of the concrete. Although calibration charts are provided by the manufacturer, the instrument should be calibrated for type of concrete and type and size of aggregate used. This is photograph showing Windsor probe. Benefits and limitations of this test. The test produces quite variable result and should not be expected to give accurate values of concrete strength. It has, however, the potential for providing a quick means of checking quality and maturity of in situ concrete. It also provides a means of assessing strength development with curing. The test is essential non-destructive since concrete and structural members can be tested in situ with only minor patching of holes on exposed faces. The next test is a rebound hammer test, which is easy and fast test as compared to other tests. It is surface hardness tester for which an empirical correlation has been established between strength and a rebound number or a rebound value. The only known instrument to make use of the rebound principle for concrete testing is the skimmed, skimmed hammer, which weighs about 4 pounds or 1.8 kg. It consists of spring controlled hammer mass that slides on a plunger with within a tubular housing. The hammer is forced against the surface of concrete by spring and the distance of rebound is measured on the scale. The test surface can be horizontal, vertical, or at any angle, but the instrument must be calibrated in this position. For rebound hammer test assembly, there is need of cleaning of concrete surface for the better result. Uneven surface or moist surface is not allowed for test by rebound hammer. Before test by rebound hammer, we have to clean the surface and have to remove any plastering surface over the concrete. Calibration can be done with cylinders 6 by 12 inches, 15 by 30 centimeter of the same cement and aggregate as will be used on the job. The cylinders are capped and firmly held in position compression machine. The following photograph shows the rebound hammer. The rebound hammer is always provided with the grinder wheel, which is useful for cleaning the surface where the rebound hammer has to be placed. Limitations and advantages of rebound hammer test. The skimmed hammer provides an inexpensive, simple, and quick method of obtaining indication of concrete strength. The results are affected by factors such as smoothness of surface, size and shape of specimen, moisture condition of the concrete, type of cement and coarse aggregate, extent of carbonation of surface. The next test is pull-out test on concrete. A pull-out test measures with a special ram the force required to pull from the concrete a specially shaped steel rod whose enlarged end has been cast into the concrete to the depth of 3 inches or 7.6 centimeter. The concrete is simultaneously in tension and in shear, but the force required to pull the concrete out can be related to the compressive strength. The pull-out technique can thus measure quantitatively the in situ strength of concrete when proper corrections correlations have been made. It has been found over a wide range of strength that pull-out strength have a coefficient of variation comparable to that of compressive strength. This assembly shows the pull-out method of testing of concrete in which the rod of specific dimension is inserted in concrete and the assembly tries to pull the rod towards it. What are the advantages and limitations of pull-out test? The pull-out tests do give information on the maturity and development of strength of the representative part of it. And the limitation for pull-out test is the pull-out of course creates some minor damages to the concrete structure. Pull-out tests do not measure the interior strength of mass concrete. The next non-destructive test is ultrasonic pulse velocity method. It is the only one of this type that shows potential of testing concrete strength in situ. It measures the time of travel of ultrasonic pulse passing through the concrete. It consists of a pulse generated and pulse receiver. Pulses are generated by shock exciting piezoelectric crystals with similar crystals used in the receiver. The time taken for the pulse to pass or travel through the concrete is measured by electronic measuring circuits. It can be carried out on both laboratory sized specimen and completed concrete structures. There must be smooth contact with the surface under test. A coupling medium such as thin film of oil is mandatory for such test. Therefore, the manufacturer always provides some wax like chemical along with the instrument which we have to apply before transducer or receiver to keep in touch with concrete surface. It is desirable for path lengths to be at least 12 inches, that is 30 centimeter, in order to avoid any errors introduced by heterogeneity. There is an increase in pulse velocity at below freezing temperature owing to freezing of water from 5 to 30 degrees centigrade. Pulse velocities are not temperature dependent. The presence of reinforcing steel in concrete has an appreciable effect on pulse velocity. This device is pulse velocity test which is provided along with two transducers, one is receiver, one is transmitter. The transmitter and receiver are provided with some wax on surface and concrete is also provided with wax for better contact. The transducer or transmitter transmits the waves, ultrasonic waves from the structure and which are received by receiver. The time taken for receiving the waves is then recorded in the instrument, and from that time taken the defects in concrete are determined and the compressive strength are determined indirectly. In this test, the test can be carried on parallel surface, on opposite surfaces, or at some distances of slab. Generally, the distance is maintained more than 30 centimeters so as to reduce the errors. Applications and limitations. It can be used on both existing structures and those under constructions. In if large directions differences in pulse velocity are found within a structure, it means that defective or deteriorated concrete is present. High pulse velocity readings are generally indicative of good quality concrete. It has been used to study the effect of concrete of freezing and thawing action, sulfate attack, and acidic waters. It can be also used to estimate the rate of hardening and strength development of concrete in the early stages to determine when to formwork should be removed. As concrete ages, the rate of increase of pulse velocity slows down. Accuracy depends on careful calibration and use of some concrete mix proportion in it. It have a great potential for concrete control, particularly for establishing uniformity and detecting cracks or defects. Its use for predicting strength is much more limited owing to the large number of variables affecting the relation between strength and pulse velocity. This chart shows the pulse velocity value and the condition of concrete as excellent, good, questionable, poor, and very poor. For excellent concrete, The value of pulse velocity is above 15,000. For good concrete condition, the value ranges from 12,000 to 15,000. For questionable concrete, it ranges from 10,000 to 12,000. For poor concrete structure, it is ranges from 7,000 to 10,000, and very poor it is below 7,000. Radioactive method of non-destructive testing. It can be used to detect the location of reinforcement, measure density. It can be used to check whether honeycombing has occurred in structure concrete units. Gamma radiography is increasingly accepted in England and European countries. The equipment is quite simple and running costs are small, although the initial price can be high. Concrete up to 18-inch or 45 centimeter thick can be examined without difficulty. This assembly shows the use of equipment on the surface of concrete. The equipment is rolled over the surface and which detects or radar detects the number of bars and its diameter directly on the equipment digital screen. Now